Hi there, I'm Kira, and because I have not been actively anti-racist in my lifetime, and because I am white, I have allowed systemic racism to happen, and I have been complicit in allowing it to happen within my country and probably within my life. I don't want to make this about me, but I feel that it's necessary for me to make this video because as I've seen a lot online and have been realizing, white silence is also violence, and that's something that's been very impactful to me in the last week. So the last 2 weeks have been a lot to process because a lot of it has been realizing that I am not the good person that I like to think that I am in a lot of ways. And I'm going to talk specifically BookTube because this is where I am. I've been very vocal on my personal Instagram, my personal Twitter, my book Twitter, and I just finally started posting on my book Instagram, but I'm finally making this video because I have the time to sit down and process my thoughts and figure out how to state this correctly. But do you know how many Black booktubers I am currently following? 1. I'm subscribed to Naya Reads and Smiles, and she's amazing, but she's the only Black booktuber I'm currently subscribed to. Was that intentional? No. I wasn't actively going and saying I don't want to subscribe to Black booktubers. But does that make that okay? Absolutely not. A lot of the ways that I've participated in this systemic racism is by just being silent. I haven't actively gone out of my way to pursue racist thoughts or actions. I've never tried intentionally to put people down. But I have allowed that to happen just in general. I've never actually stood up against it before the past 2 weeks. And I've never actively gone out and sought out Black booktubers. Same with Black authors. Again, my favorite book is An Ember in the Ashes, written by a Black author. And I read The Hate U Give my senior year of high school, so 2017, I believe, or 2018, one of the two. Loved the book and understood that it was pointing out a problem, but I haven't ever really intentionally been I need to read more Black authors. Which, again, that's the basis of how I have impacted this situation, is just by my silence and my being complicit in letting so many things slide. And I think that's the insidious part of the way that our system in America works, is that I can live my life without ever realizing that I have been hurting people, and without ever taking a stance, and without ever trying to make things better. I have lived pretty comfortably. I mean, obviously we all have struggles, but I've lived fairly comfortably in America without having to, I've never had to fear for my life, ever. And part of that is living in smaller cities, especially in Wisconsin, where, especially where I live right now in Eau Claire, we're a majority white city. So, and our Hmong population is, the second biggest. So, I am able to just live my life and not have to worry about it. But the past 2 weeks have shown me that I can no longer do that. And I am taking steps towards working to A, become better informed, but B, to actually make lasting changes. So, I've been sharing this, again, a lot on my personal Facebook and Instagram. So, you guys here are kind of getting, the ending or, second wave of what I need to be doing. But, it's just some ways that I've found have been helpful. One is getting in my Bible. When this first started happening, I was immediately outraged that people could sit by and assume things or post things that were incorrect. And so I responded a lot just out of blind rage. And I realized that that is not helpful, especially for me to be doing. Me personally, that blind rage is not going to change anybody's heart. It's not going to change anybody's mind. It's just going to make people defensive. So for me, I needed to take a step back, and because my faith is very important to me, I needed to recenter myself on Christ. So that was the very first step that I took. But I've also taken a bunch of other steps. So I have donated. I'm a poor college student, so I don't have a lot of money. So each of my donations are like $5, $10. Not very much, but that's what I can afford to do. So I have, donated to both like GoFundMe pages for George Floyd and some of the other victims, but also to another cause. Lecrae is a very popular Christian rapper, and he is doing a drive right now to get masks and hand sanitizers to the incarcerated in Georgia, I believe. So I was able to donate to that endeavor as well. So I'm going to be looking for opportunities to make a more consistent donation. Again, it's not going to be very much because I do not have the ability to do that yet. But I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to invest in something that I care deeply about. Some of the other things I've done are investing in Black authors and Black businesses. So I found a Twitter thread of Black independently owned bookstores. So I was able to purchase 2 different books from 2 different bookstores of Black authors. So I'm going to look them up just to make sure that I say the titles correctly, because I want to make sure that I'm doing that. But they both have to do with a song, which is kind of funny. So one book that I bought was A Song Below Water, and the other one is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. So those are both books that I would really look forward to reading, and I'm very excited about getting them. But that's another way that I'm trying to help change things, is investing both in Black authors and in Black owned businesses. I've been signing petitions. I actually have a list of petitions that I need to go through and sign today because I keep forgetting to do that. I've also watched the documentary 13th that's on Netflix to try and educate myself, which that was really good. I encourage you to watch it. It talks about how the 13th Amendment freed slaves and that slavery could no longer be used as a punishment, except there's a clause in there that says except in the case of a crime. And so there's a kitty, sorry. The documentary talks about how Black people were taken from being slaves to being criminals, and how that has continued through to today. It was really impactful and helped inform me on a better understanding of that situation. So I also have a list of books that people have been posting everywhere, books, and then I need to write them down, but also like documentaries, movies, TV shows, and podcasts to listen to. I'm serious, my list for books is already at like 2 full pages of just books, both fiction and nonfiction, that I can read. So the one that I have right now is Between the World and Me. That was just the first book that I put on hold from the library, and that came in. So I'm only like 10 pages in, so I haven't read a lot of it yet, but it's really good so far, and again, helping me to better understand the situation. Another thing I've been doing, which is probably the most important thing, is having conversations. So my family is all white, and again, we live in a white neighborhood, white city basically. So my conversations with my family have been really impactful. And that's something also that I think is like one of the most important things I can do, is be able to talk to the people who are in my life, because that's who I can reach and help try to change their understanding of the situation as it's going on. I've also been trying to combat incorrect Facebook posts. Again, in my personal life, I don't have a Facebook page for this channel, so all of my Facebook stuff is my personal stuff. But I have like a distant relative or related somehow, and she's been posting a lot of just inflammatory and incorrect things. So I've been doing my best to combat that with the truth. So that's like the most important thing that I can be doing to help make lasting change. My goal going forward is just to be more mindful of how I can be active in condemning and in fighting against racism. And a lot of that starts with me. I'm going to be actively searching out new booktube channels, which, like, granted, I haven't really been a ton on booktube. Like, I haven't watched a lot of booktube videos in the past, like, month or two, really. I've just kind of been on a break and doing other things. But I'm still going to be actively looking for Black booktubers, and I saw a post that was also like, it's not just subscribing, but it's engaging with them. So I'm really bad at doing that anyways, is engaging with videos, but I think trying to make sure that I'm engaging with videos as well. I don't really know how to figure out about Bookstagram. I also don't spend a ton of time on Bookstagram either. So, but I am going to be like looking for, making sure that I'm actively searching out and seeking new Bookstagrammers who are Black people. And I think just making sure that I'm educating myself and helping to try and educate the people around me in my personal circle is one of the best ways that I can do that. So with all that being said, I will link a bunch of stuff down in the description. I'm going to link a couple different lists of people's favorite Black booktubers, because I don't have a list like that, because I only have one booktube channel that I'm subscribed to that is Black. And so I am 100% going to be changing that. And I want to make this like an actual change in my life and make it a lasting change in my life. So if I'm ever stepping out of line, please say something. I know I have a very small channel right now, but I want to be held accountable for the way that I am learning, and please give me a little grace in that I am learning, and so I want to make sure that I'm doing things respectfully. Another thing that I just realized, I just thought of, that I need to do better at and actually do, is that I need to learn how to pronounce authors' last names, because I can't tell you how many times I've probably mispronounced people's names, and like the common courtesy thing to do would be to go on Google or just go on the internet and figure out how to pronounce this author's name, because they don't deserve to have their name mispronounced. So that's another thing. Again, not something that I was like actively like, oh, I'm gonna mispronounce this name, but it was just something that I was like, if I get it wrong, oh well. And that's really not okay. So if you guys, I'm not even gonna ask for like favorite resources or anything, because I've been creating lists, I've been taking tons of screenshots, and looking for that on my own. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Again, please hold me accountable if you notice that I am doing something that's offensive or wrong or insensitive, or that I need a little correction on. Please tell me, and I will do my absolute best to make those changes. But all that to say, Black Lives Matter, and our white culture, our white supremacy is so insidious in the way that it lets us just live our lives just without even noticing the things that are happening. But we need to change that, and we need to be aware of how our actions are impacting others, whether passive or active. So thank you for watching. I hope this makes sense. And again, please check out all the links in the description below. I will be continuing to learn, and grow right alongside with you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.